I guess the reports were true. I guess normal people inside the Superdome Sunday night were telling us the truth. Throughout Sunday night, I kept seeing people talking about the thousands of empty seats inside the Superdome. At one point during the first quarter, Fox, they showed a panoramic view for a very brief second, then never showed the full crowd again. I wonder why. I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that the Super Bowl was not sold out. According to Statista, the Super Bowl in New Orleans, it drew nearly 66,000 people. Since I have been to the Superdome many times, I immediately knew that was not anywhere close to a sellout. Matter of fact, the Super Bowl crowd, it was barely at 90% capacity. I know 90% sounds like a good number, but that is god-awful. Bad teams in the NBA, they are filling arenas over 90% capacity. But you're not going to hear about the attendance from the mainstream media. The media, they're not going to tell you that the Super Bowl failed to sell out. No. The media is more concerned with the supposed record ratings and using Kendrick Lamar to spread racial division. Headline at Bleacher Report: Kendrick Lamar halftime performance draws record high ratings. Woohoo! Yes! Do you ever feel like you're being manipulated? Do you ever feel like someone, the media, is presenting you with a nice shiny diamond, but deep down, you know it's a polished turd? That's how I feel with these Super Bowl ratings. We talk a lot about ratings on both of my channels, and to my knowledge, I have never questioned the accuracy of ratings, even when leagues I hate like the WNBA. Even when the dump pulls good ratings, I don't question it. I might question the sanity, I might question the judgment of the people that are watching. I mean, why in the hell would anyone waste their time watching Angel Reese give 100% effort in garbage time to keep her streak of mythical double-doubles going? In most cases, ratings make sense. The numbers can be easily explained. For example, for the past 5 years, ratings for the NBA Finals have been in the pooper when compared to what the NBA averaged in the past. When the 2020 NBA Finals drew record low ratings, we knew the reason. LeBron James hypnotized the rest of the league and convinced them to spend their time fighting mythical racism so he could win his last NBA championship. Looking back at it now, it was a brilliant strategy. It's a hell of a lot easier to make layups when your opponents are on their knees protesting mythical racism. When the NHL struggles to draw ratings, we know why. When Major League Baseball saw a drastic increase in ratings last fall for the playoffs, we knew why. When the annual disaster known as the NBA All-Star Game disappoints both on the court and in the ratings, we know why. The numbers are usually easy to explain. But for some reason, I'm having a real hard time believing these ratings for the Super Bowl. I'm having a hard time biting into this shit sandwich. Both Fox and the NFL, they want me to believe that one of the least hyped Super Bowls in recent memory, one of the least anticipated Super Bowls with a matchup that no one wanted to see, a Super Bowl that struggled to sell tickets, a Super Bowl that saw ticket prices decline 60% and didn't sell out. The NFL wants me to believe that Super Bowl drew record high ratings? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Angelic Imports. If you're anything like me, you have no idea that Valentine's Day is 3 days away now. You know when I know it's Valentine's Day? When I wake up that morning and my wife says, "Happy Valentine's Day!" My day starts with panic as I spend the morning riding around the city looking for a gift, but I don't have to panic. I don't have to waste my time this year because I have already ordered her Valentine's gift from Angelic Imports. Angelic Imports provides high-quality Gouffre chocolate that comes directly from the French, Swiss, and German border areas. I ordered my wife the Gouffre round, which includes 65 pieces for $40. But you can get the Gouffre Golden Secrets for less than $20, comes with 20 pieces of chocolate. And this is not your gas station candy. This is some of the best chocolate you'll ever taste. Don't get caught unprepared this Valentine's Day. Click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with Angelic Imports. According to Variety, the Super Bowl averaged nearly 128 million viewers. For the second year in a row, the NFL set a ratings record. Now, on the surface, this doesn't make sense, right? Ratings for the regular season in the NFL down 2%. And the only reason ratings didn't decline further is because local broadcasts carried the lead. People were still interested in watching their local teams, but interest was clearly declining for national broadcast. Going into the Super Bowl, ratings for the playoffs were down 9%. Some games were seeing declines of 4-5 million viewers. But all of a sudden, the Super Bowl sets records by drawing 127.7 million people? How? Me personally, I was expecting a number around 100 million. I was surprised when Fox reported last night that almost 128 million people watched the Super Bowl. Last week at this time, no one was talking about it. The NBA completely overshadowed the NFL last week. Throughout sports media, it was wall-to-wall coverage of the NBA. Even going into the game on Sunday, no one seemed to care. Patrick Mahomes was on the verge of making history. No one cared. I cannot remember the last time a Super Bowl has felt this inconsequential, this unimportant. So how in the hell do they draw almost 128 million? Well, according to Sports Media Watch, that number is a combined figure across all networks, which is fine. That's fine. If you're watching the Super Bowl on Telemundo, it's no different than watching it on Fox. Only difference is you didn't have to deal with Tom Brady referring to everyone by their first name. But the real reason this number is inflated, and the reason it's been inflated the last 2 or 3 years, out-of-home viewing. Out-of-home viewing was introduced a few years ago once everything on cable started struggling. This year was the first year that 100% of out-of-home viewership was included in the ratings. Well, Casey, what the hell is out-of-home viewing? Well, from what I understand, it allows Nielsen to calculate people who might be watching the game at bars, restaurants, airports. For example, let's say there are 300 people inside of Club Shay Shay. I believe Nielsen would count all 300 or a large portion of those 300, and they would include them in the final ratings for the Super Bowl, even though a third of that number were being mesmerized by the dancing queen Jackie Mahomes. Another third of that number were being seduced by the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman. Even though only 100 people were actually watching the Super Bowl inside of Club Shay Shay, the NFL gets credit for all 300. Look, I'm not saying that Fox and the NFL are lying. If they say almost 128 million people watch the Super Bowl, fine. What I am saying is, I'm having a hard time believing it. The media, they continue to use Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance in a desperate attempt to spread racial division. Lonely women on TikTok, who I'm sure are regular consumers of the Boodle Breeze on The View. These lonely women, they are expressing their fake outrage. They are lecturing other white people on the importance of recognizing their inherent racism. Watch for yourself.
If that would have been Post Malone's white ass up there doing the Super Bowl halftime, you would have hailed it as the greatest halftime show of all time. The only reason people have an issue with it is because Kendrick Lamar is black and you were all very racist. You have no shame in being a racist. Again, if it was Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, or Post Malone up there, you would have been just fine with the performance last night.
This lovely woman appears to be, her late 20s, maybe early 30s. I noticed that she didn't have a ring on her wedding finger. I wonder why. Now, obviously, this lady's full of shit. If Malone Post or Jelly Bean was performing at the Super Bowl, their reaction would have been the same. I have never heard one song from Post Malone. Hell, I think I've heard a song from Karl Malone before, but never a song from Post Malone. I've never even heard of Jelly Bean. The last Bean I remember in pop culture was Butterbean. You guys remember Butterbean? Not only did he inspire Lizzo, not only was he the original face for body positivity, Butterbean could also kick your ass. The media is continuing to push this false narrative that the criticism of Kendrick Lamar is racist. But what the media doesn't understand, or what the media is conveniently overlooking because they refuse to let those pesky facts get in the way of pushing their agenda, the criticism of the halftime show, it has absolutely nothing to do with race. People are criticizing it because it sucked. Here in the next 5 or 10 years, I think the NFL is going to have a difficult time booking halftime shows for the Super Bowl. Hell, they might be having these difficulties right now. Maybe that explains why they booked Kendrick Lamar. The music industry is damn near dead. There's no such thing anymore as mainstream artists. Think about it. Think about it. Name one song today that has crossed over. Name one song that everybody knows. Can you even think of a song on the Billboard charts right now? I can't. All the music I listen to is the music that I grew up listening to. The music industry has become very niche. There are no longer artists like Michael Jackson who appeal to just about everyone. There is no Madonna, there is no Tupac. The only young artist that qualifies is Taylor Swift, and there would be a damn revolt if the NFL had her perform at the Super Bowl. The NFL's running out of artists because there just aren't many artists crossing over anymore. I think they're going to have a hard time booking halftime shows for the Super Bowl that appeal to everyone because the music industry, they no longer produce artists that appeal to everyone. But anyway, give me your thoughts on this. The Super Bowl does not sell out. There were thousands of empty seats inside the Superdome, but somehow the NFL set record high ratings. They are claiming 127.7 million people watched the Super Bowl. Do you think that's accurate? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.